So what I tried to do this last night was spend some time, reading that federal mandate and how it's applied, and really what I kind of honed in on was this religious exemption, which then references back somewhat to the EEOC and how they define religion, which religion is, by EEOC, it's not about religion, it's about a sincerely held belief. Like that's at its core. And the way that I read it is the belief of one person. Like it doesn't have to be even a congregation, but it's a belief about your life and death and philosophy, for instance. And so what I'm trying to understand is, that's a huge hole in a way for an exemption to take place. Am I interpreting that correctly from the AG's office opinion? I mean, is that pretty fair? I mean, if you do not believe, you have a belief that you don't want to take the vaccine, shouldn't have to take the vaccine to be an employee. I mean, that's what the rule says. Am I missing anything?
It is a fairly broad exemption.
Okay.
And you're not incorrect.
Okay. And one thing and then to lead up the question for UAMS, I mean, so we're like preparing. I mean, what you're asking us to do, and what we're trying to decipher today is, it's like, we play the game of chicken. What happens when one side loses? How is this going to work? I mean, with my reading of the exemptions, I mean, I assume you want all your employees that are not willing to take the vaccine because they have a sincerely held belief to have something on file, so that if the court case rules in favor of the federal government, that those remain to be they stay on as employees, or UAMS can continue to operate because we've met whatever this is, because again, if it's a sincerely held belief, not religious, not from your pastor, not from your whatever, you're exempt the best that I can read. And I think again what you're alluding to, and you can't deny these. I don't even see how you can deny one in some ways. Am I missing something on that?
Senator, just like that's the way that UAMS interprets this, and just to put this in personal terms, I'm practicing Roman Catholic. Pope says the vaccine is okay, but if I have a deeply felt personal belief that there's a reason not to take the vaccine, that our committee would accept that as a religious exemption. We're clearly in between a rock and a hard place, and we have at least I think we can all agree at least some risk of losing roughly half of the revenue that we use to keep our ship afloat. Well, I mean, and at the same time, we deeply want to be respectful of the GA, the ALC, and the laws of the state. And we value our employees, our team members, regardless of how they feel about the vaccine. And if people cheer for being for the vaccine or against the vaccine, that doesn't change how important they are for UAMS. So we're trying to navigate all three of those issues at the same time.
Yeah, because again, I would just say, my understanding is, if you believe so strongly that you're willing to quit your job, that's a pretty sincerely held belief. Again, I appreciate it. Just want to make sure I understood it. And one thing, on how we move forward. I mean, if there is one that is not granted, for instance, we don't allow. And again, this isn't. We call them religious exemptions. That's not. If you read the way that it's written, what it truly is. But if those are not granted, could we be notified as an ALC committee if any of those are denied by any employee that seeks a exemption based on their, sincerely held belief?
I will
assure your name, right? But I mean, just
I will assure you that if anyone applies for a religious exemption and that religious exemption is denied, then I'll notify Representative Warnock, Senator Rice, Senator Hickey, and Speaker Shepherd personally that is the case.
Okay, thank you.
And we will make sure that notification goes to the full committee. Thank you for that. Representative Jean, you recognize for a question.